These are also some of the holes in my socks. They're putting holes in my socks. I've literally cut up a bunch of my socks because they put holes in them. Um, there's putting holes in my brand new underwear. I literally bought these like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and they've already got holes in them. And there's like absolutely no reason why they should have holes in them. I don't even throw these. When I was living at 1790 Rue de Centre, apartment 14, I wasn't even drying my clothes in the dryer. I was just washing them because I couldn't afford to put my clothes in the dryer, and it was just cheaper to actually um, let my clothes hang dry, which I was doing. I was letting my clothing hang dry. But it's part of the reason that I'm trying to get away from the United States, and now I have to get away from Canada and try to get away from, I guess, what seems to be the English and French governments. Um, but I'm hoping to record this and catalog it so I can use it to get asylum in a different country. At the very least, I have the capacity to work and make enough money to get to where I want to go. And I'm going to try to use that money to get to the desert and hopes that I'll be able to get away from the French and English and the American governments. I tried Mexico, but people working in the Mexican government in cooperation with the federal government had me sent back and wouldn't allow me to enter the country. I have a birth certificate that claims and states that I have a mother who was born in Mexico State, and I'm part Indian and to some degree or another part Native American. Um, but I don't seem to have much rights or any kind of status that allows me to do anything about this because whenever I try to involve local government authorities, I'm basically told if I have no proof, I can't do anything about it. I've gone to the Langley Center in Virginia to try to find someone to complain about, and they ticketed me and told me that if I came back, I would be arrested. Um, I've called the FBI and they hung up on me 2 times when I tried to talk to them about what it was that was going on with me. But uh, uh, I, when I first got here to Canada, I've been having like similar problems like I've been having in the United States. And I go to stores and I buy things and they're like not quite the right size, or I take them home and then it's like not like the same thing that I came home with. And there's like work boot brands that I can't buy because for whatever reason they don't last or they don't work or someone doesn't want me wearing them. Um, but at any rate, the issue that I'm trying to to record here is so that I have evidence of uh, government negligence when I try to claim asylum in another country other than here in Canada, because I'm not really capable of saying anything to my immigration officer or to anybody else because it jeopardizes my status in Canada. And if I lose my status in Canada, I won't be able to work and make enough money to get out of the United States, which I shouldn't have to do since I'm part Indigenous Native American and part Indigenous Mexican. But I'm currently in conflict with the Arab European settlers that have occupied the Canadian and North American and Latin American territories. And the reason that I'm in conflict with them is because there seems to be some sort of association between their tribal lineages and the Roman Catholic Church. And the Roman Catholic Church and the tribal lineages, as well as some sort of pagan cults, maybe associated with this Farsi cult or with some Egyptian Zoroastrian cult. I'm not entirely certain, but I've been, for some reason, made the focal point of some sort of movement, and it involves pagan cults, and it involves, to some degree or another, monotheistic cults, and it has some sort of association with pyramids, because I seem to be some sort of connection between the pyramids of Egypt and the pyramids of Latin America and Central America. And it seems to involve Judaism, and it seems to also involve Islamic organizations. But at the very least, there's some involvement between some cult, at the very least, associated with Christianity, which is why there is a state in the United States called Virginia, and why there is a state in the United States called Georgia, and why there's Catholic churches in Georgia, and the first churches in the United States were the missions of California, where the indigenous of the United States were forced to work as slaves to the monks, where they performed the daily tasks or whatever, and became literate in Latin and English, or maybe just Latin. Maybe they didn't become literate at all, I don't know. But at any rate, this is like my evidence that like I'm totally still being harassed, and there's still like little things I'm buying things, and things like aren't like working well for me. Like everything has holes, like even this shirt is like ridiculous. Like I'm forced to wear, this is like the shirt that I'm wearing at home. It's just like ridiculous. Like they're putting holes in my clothes so that I'm like forced to buy more clothes. And I have like these jeans that I had brought with me. These jeans that I literally brought with me from America. I literally patched up, and somebody went out of their way to like put more holes in them after I had patched them up. And obviously they're just like, you can't even wear these. Like I wear these for like, to clean. I wore these when I cleaned my restroom, and I cleaned the apartment when I first moved in. But obviously I'm not deliberately putting holes in my clothes. Because why would I want to waste money on more clothes if I'm poor and I'm barely making anything at all? And but someone is trying rather hard to stall me or to make sure that I'm without money. And these are like my old Navy jeans that I bought when I'd first gotten out of jail, and Marina said that I could stay with her. I bought a pair of jeans, and these are the pair of jeans, and they're just completely thrashed. I can't wear these at all. I've patched them up several times, and obviously they're just not usable. So I mean, this is some of my evidence that I'm being forced to spend money so that I'm not either capable of leaving this country, which I've told my immigration officer is my initial plan, or they're deliberately making sure that I'm without money to limit my social mobility as I try to travel across the desert, because I'm under surveillance by corrupt FBI agents that I know are guilty of trafficking drugs, brainwashing people with LSD through psychic influence and government ghost technology, and maybe even possible sexual harassment by influencing men into being homosexuals and behaving homosexually. And I know that the American military, to some degree or another, is guilty of such things, and that also implies that there's some connection to the Vatican and the Christian cults associated with Zoroastrianism or Egyptian mythology. because of some association with Satanism, and how the devil says, I will make men to lie with men and women to lie with women. But there's really not much more I can show you. I mean, for the most part, I have what seems to be a reasonably comfortable place. There's like little things, like things go missing, or my things get switched out on me with like complete duplicates of something. But this is like my future evidence for when I get to the desert and I find a place that's willing to give me asylum, that also finds the American government to be as offensive as I do. Um, for the most part, I'm relatively well fed. Um, the only issue is I have no money. I'm down to my $100. I'm living in a subsidized apartment. I moved from my first apartment over on 1790 Rue de Centre because it was on a Ukrainian church property, and I'm trying to get away from the Vatican. And when I was first released from the immigration detainment center, um, I was forced to stay at a YMCA. And again, the YMCA, like the association with homosexuality in the YMCA song, doesn't seem to be news to anybody, but nobody seems to be particularly alarmed by the fact that they're not in control of themselves, or that they are being influenced by psychics into behaving homosexually. There's also a lot of men and women that are behaving irrationally or illogically. Um, but at any rate, I'm relatively well fed. I'm also being impeded with my exercising habits, which seems to be an issue because the FBI is behaving hostilely towards me. And if they arrest me and put me in a situation where I am in a confined facility, then I'll be surrounded by cops who have some sort of hookup where they're capable of fighting, and my fighting skills are impeded on top of my ability to exercise, which is also impeded, which is part of the reason I'm trying to get out to the desert so I can get away from the Arab European oppressors and their homosexual games. They're also guilty of using their psychic ghost agents into influencing men and women into performing sodomy and cheating on their spouses, and in some cases sleeping with children, and so that they can blackmail whoever it is who's sleeping with children, and also influencing men and women into sleeping with each other's like relatives, or each other's spouses relatives, or each other's friends or bosses at work or whatever. So I'm initially in a conflict with a global established system of governments, and there's actually no way to hide anything from them. They're ghost agents, so they're probably corrupting the audio on this recording, as well as isolating me. So I have nobody really to take my case to, and I'm being isolated and to some degree or another victimized. And I have no real way of communicating to somebody who has my best interest at heart, or communicating with somebody who is capable of helping me. All I can do is make for a Middle Eastern country that I know exists in conflict with the American government, and hope that I can escape the American government that way. I know I'm not safe. I know the people around me that might be willing to help me aren't capable of helping me, because they could be killed and replaced by genetic duplicates of themselves. And it's possible that some of the people around me could have their wives killed and replaced with genetic duplicates of them, or their children killed and replaced with genetic duplicates of them. And it's a very real danger for people here in Canada and in America and all over the world. I mean, if somebody seems to be capable of changing something or speaking up against the establishment, then they become a target. And because we're all being genetically engineered with the help of this ghost technology, it's completely feasible that they would replace somebody with a duplicate of themselves that is completely willing to act and behave like the person that they've replaced, and also carry on that person's life while simultaneously doing everything that the corrupt establishment wants. So hopefully I'll see you in the desert. Okay.